Greetings. This is Sister Mary Muhammad, and I am going to show you the process of how I make my black bean soup. I start out with some organic black beans. These are from Muhammad Farms. And then the first thing you want to do with your beans is pick them, meaning you want to pick out all of the bad beans. So my process is I make a little pile and I just sift through them and I take out all the bad beans. Now I've already done these, so this is what I've gotten so far. And so you see the discolored, you've got discolored beans, you've got broken beans. You don't want those. You don't know what happened to them. You don't know if a bug has gotten to them. You just want to take those out, okay? And then you're left with, these have already been done, you're left with your good beans. And I'm going to add these back. And so then the next thing you want to do is you want to wash your beans. And you want to wash them thoroughly. Now with black beans, the beans are going to turn the water black, of course. However, you can still tell if they're clean because as you continue to wash them, the black will become clear black versus a cloudy black, okay? So I'm not going to video that process because I take the time and really wash my beans well. So I wash them about 4 or 5 times initially. Then after that, we're going to add hot water. I like to add boiling hot water, and I let them sit overnight. And then in the refrigerator, because I don't want them to sour. So after the water cools down, I sit the pot or the bowl in the refrigerator and let them soak overnight. You want to get out the as much starch as you can with that process. And so we'll see you in the morning with our soaked beans, and we'll go from that point. Okay, we are back. Our beans have soaked overnight, and I have washed them probably another 10 times. I am avid about washing beans very thoroughly. Some may take and wash theirs through a strainer and just just agitate them while they're in the strainer, but I like to leave them in the bowl when I wash them so that I can see how clean they are, if you will. So, and then once I'm satisfied, then I'll run them through water run water over them in a strainer to finish. Okay, so we washed them. I've added them to my pressure cooker. Some people may not want to use a pressure cooker, and that's absolutely fine. You can use a regular stock pot. I've chopped up, these are my Black Beauty tomatoes. I like, in my black bean soup, I like them to be partially ripened because they have just a really deep flavor, and I love the Black Beauty. And I should have shown you the whole thing, but the tops of them are mainly all black, as you can see some of these pieces. But then you can use regular tomatoes. It's up to you what you choose. Amish paste or whatever kind of tomatoes you want. Then I chopped up my vegetables: green peppers, red peppers, onions, and garlic. The wonderful thing for me is that everything comes from the garden. I don't have to buy it from the store, so I know what's in it and what's not. Everything organic. Okay, so we're going to add all of our ingredients to the pot. And then we'll season it afterwards. So as you can see, it's such a pretty sight when you put it in the pot. All the colored vegetables and against the black beans. Vegetables and food should be pretty. All right, so we're then gonna add some water that I forgot to get. Give me just a second. And I'll get my water. Now those who are in the city, I don't suggest using city water. You should use spring water. But since I'm in the country, I have a well, so I have well water. And I get my water as such. Now, I like to put my water, I'm going to put my hand in here so you can see, where the vegetables are on top, but the beans have about an inch, there's about an inch from the beans to the, you can't hardly see it, but there's about an inch of water from the beans to the top of the water level. I'm going to add just a little bit more water simply because I have a lot of vegetables in there. Okay. So I am ready to put this on the stove. And again, this is a pressure cooker. But you know what, before I add it to the stove, I'm going to go ahead and season it so you can see what seasoning I have. So you know I had garlic, fresh garlic, green pepper, red pepper, and onion. So I'm going to add some salt, and I use real salt. Okay. Has good minerals in it that are good for you, not all the overly treated crap that they sell in the store as Morton's table salt, which is really no good for you. And then I'm going to add some black pepper. I like a little spice, but that's not the spice for me. I don't need to add garlic powder because I've already added fresh garlic. I am going to add a little bit of smokiness by way of some chili powder. And I'm sorry I don't measure. I grew up in the country with a country mother, and I just know how to, she taught us how to look at it and see that whether or not we have enough. So that's the premise behind that. I'm also going to add a little paprika. Now, once again, all of my seasonings are homegrown. So I grow paprika peppers, I grow chili peppers, I grow all kinds of hot peppers. So everything is homegrown. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to know that you can go to your own pantry and get your food out that you grew. And I like to add a little basil. And I have so much basil that I've grown that it's ridiculous. I'm starting to give it away. I have so much dried basil that I dehydrated from the garden. Anywho, all right, so those are my seasoning. I am going to add about, for this many beans, I'm going to add about a half a stick of butter for the fat. I don't want, some people add a whole stick. I don't add a whole stick, but I do want to add about a half a stick. And then we're going to put the lid on and let it do what it does. And then I'll see you at the end once it's all done.